Welcome to EDU World Space.
Problem 3.101. In this problem, there are 8 cases are given in this problem, and in each case we have to find equivalent force couple system at point A. In each of these diagrams, left end is representing the point A and right end is representing point B. So if we calculate the equivalent force in case of first case, so equivalent force at point A will be, since both of these forces are acting in downward direction, so total equivalent reaction at point A will be 300 plus 200, that comes out to be 500 Newton in downward direction. If we talk about the moment about point A, so moment about point A will be, this 400 Newton is in clockwise, so minus 400. This 300 Newton is already passing through A, so its moment effect will be 0. And this 200 Newton is causing a clockwise couple, so minus, and distance in all these diagrams between point A and B is 3 meter. So its moment because of this 200 Newton will be 3 multiplied by 200, which comes out to be minus 1000 Newton meter. Now if you talk about the second case, in this diagram, again this end is A, so total reaction force at point A or equivalent force at point A will be, both the forces are in same direction, so it can be directly added, and it will be 500 Newton, and that will be in upward direction. If we talk about the moment about point A, since this 200 Newton is passing through the point A, so its effect will be 0. This 300 Newton is going to cause a counterclockwise couple, so it will be 3 multiplied by 300. And this 400 Newton meter is in clockwise sense, so minus 400 Newton meter, and which comes out to be 500 Newton meter. Now in third case, the total reaction at point A will be, again both the forces are in downward direction, so we can directly add them, and it comes out to be 500 Newton in downward direction. Now if you talk about the moment that is acting at point A, since this was the point A, so this 200 Newton will have no effect on the moment value. The only effect will be 300 Newton and this moment present, since this moment is in counterclockwise direction, so plus 400. And this 300 Newton is going to cause a clockwise couple, so it will be minus 300 multiplied by 3, which comes out to be minus 500 Newton meter. Now in fourth case, this was the point A. If we talk about the reaction force that is acting at point A, this will be, since only one force is acting here, so the force itself will be the equivalent force, and that will be 500 Newton and in downward direction. If we talk about the moment about point A, so moment about point A will be, because of these two, because of this force and the moment that is present at this end, this moment is in counterclockwise direction, so it will cause a positive couple, so it will be plus 400, and this 500 Newton is going to cause a clockwise couple, so it will be minus 500 multiplied by distance, that is 3. So this comes out to be minus 1100 Newton meter. Now if we talk about this case here, the reaction force about point A will be, since this 300 is acting upward, so let's consider that upward direction to be a negative direction, so 800, it will be minus 300, and this 800 is in downward direction, so plus 800, so this comes out to be 500 Newton. Since the final moment is positive, so our assumed direction, that is downward to be positive, is true. It means that the final moment will, final reaction force or equivalent force will be in downward direction. If we talk about the moment at point A, so moment at point A will be, since this 300 is passing through the point, so it will have 0 effect. Now this 400 Newton meter is in counterclockwise direction, so plus 400. This 1000 Newton meter is also in counterclockwise, so plus 1000, and this 800 Newton is going to cause and a clockwise couple, so it will be minus 3 multiplied by 800. So this comes out to be, this is 1400 and this is minus 2400, so it comes out to be minus 1000 Newton meter. Now if we talk about the case in F part, so here this was the point A. If we talk about the equivalent force that is acting at point A, since both the forces are acting in downward direction, so they can be directly added in this problem, and that will be 300 plus 200, so 500 Newton in downward direction, because both the forces are in downward direction. Now if we talk about the moment that is acting at point A, so moment will be, because of this 300 Newton is going to cause zero moment, but this 400 Newton meter and 200 Newton will cause moment about point A. This 400 Newton meter is in counterclockwise direction, so plus 400, and this 200 Newton will cause a couple in clockwise direction, so it will be minus 3 multiplied by 200, which comes out to be minus 600 plus 400, so it will be minus 200 Newton meter. Now in case G, if we talk about the reaction at point A or the equivalent force at point A, so this was the point A. Since this 800 is acting in downward direction, considering the downward direction to be positive, it will be plus 800 Newton. This 300 Newton is in upward direction, so this will be minus 300 Newton, which comes out to be plus 500 Newton. Since our final answer is positive, it means that our assumed direction, that is downward direction, to be positive will be the direction of equivalent force here. Now talking about the moment about point A, this 1000 Newton meter is in counterclockwise direction, so plus 1000. This 800 Newton will have no effect since it is passing through the point A. This 300 Newton is going to cause a counterclockwise couple, so plus 3 multiplied by 300, and this 400 is also in counterclockwise direction, so it will be plus 400. So all of these units are going to be in Newton meter. If you solve this, it comes out to be, this will be 900, this is 400, so 1300 plus 1000, this gives 2300 Newton meter. Now in last part, in this part, reaction at point A will be, since both of these forces are acting in downward direction, so we can directly add them, and this comes out to be 500 Newton, and that is in downward direction. If we talk about the moment about point A, which is this end, so this 1000 Newton meter is in counterclockwise direction, so it will be plus 1000, and this 250 will have zero effect, so it will be plus 0, and this 250 is going to cause a clockwise couple, so it will be minus 250 multiplied by 3, and this 400 is going to cause a counterclockwise couple, so it will be plus 400. So if you solve this, this comes out to be 1000 minus 1500 plus 400, which is equals to minus 100 Newton meter. So in this problem, first part they were asking to calculate equivalent force and equivalent moment at point A in each part, that we have already calculated. Now in second part, they are asking that which of these force systems are equivalent to each other. So if we observe the magnitude and direction of force and moment, then we see that in part A here the reaction is 500 Newton downward and moment is minus 1000 Newton meter. And if we observe the part E, so reaction is in 500 Newton downward and moment is minus 1000 Newton meter downward. So apart from these two, none of them have both the same value by magnitude and direction. So A and E is the only system here that is equivalent to each other. So part B will have the answer A and